Alright guys, so we're going to try something different today. I got a new camera and I got a new mic set up thanks to Just Jim and some of the other comments. I decided to try this new mic setup, so we're going to see how this goes. I've had another problem running around town with Mr. Rufus here, and that is that when I have a cold start, everything seems to work normal. Starts up, no problem, but if I drive for 10-15 minutes somewhere, turn them off, try to start them again, it's really hard to start. I have 2 jump boxes that I carry with me, and even that sometimes it doesn't work. I gotta let it sit for like 30 minutes before he'll start again, and it sucks because, you know, that aside from that, I'd be driving him around town every day. But it's that start problem that's keeping me from doing it. So we're going to do a little bit of investigating on the grounds to and from the starter and the battery today to make sure everything is copacetic on that end. So stand by. Okay, so now the previous owner of this bus installed a self-proclaimed hard start relay up under there, so we're going to look into that too. But the first thing we want to check here are the grounds to the battery. Make sure we're not losing anything there, and then we'll check the relay, and then we will check the starter. All right, so this is my really super high dollar ground wire off my battery. It's gonna be hard to see, but it attaches, let me get my light out so you guys can see it maybe, to the frame. Right there, you can see it. So at first I was going to take that out and look at it and make sure everything's cool, but what I ended up doing was something a little simpler. I just did a resistance check with my meter, and first I did a continuity check, so it's got continuity, no problems, there's no breaks in this wire. And I did a resistance check, and there's essentially no resistance between this wire and this screw right here, which is another ground that I have. So I'm saying that this wire is actually in good nick. I know these are the cheapo battery terminal ends, and I should probably replace this one, but we're going to call this one good right now. We're going to go on to the next thing, which is going to be up underneath the car. I should say that the battery is probably 2 years old. I had this battery for 2 years, and because of this problem or another problem that I had, I actually have just replaced the alternator. So I'm wondering if maybe by me replacing that alternator, or running that bad alternator for so long, that it might have damaged this battery maybe beyond repair. That could be a problem as well. But right now we're going to go on to the that relay that the owner installed, because I have a suspicion that might be part of the problem. So I've never even looked at it. I've seen it up in there, tucked underneath the car. So I got to jack the car up, and we'll take a look at that one and see what we can figure out. All right, so this is going to sound crazy, but since I've lowered this truck, I have not been able to get this tire off. The tire is just too tall for for the hole for the opening, wheel well. So I'm going to try again to take it off, and figured I'd let you guys watch me. I might have to take all the air out of it to get it to fully come out of there, but let's give her a shot. Ah! Victory! My God! It just came right out this time. What the heck? All right, I figured I'd show you real quick that this is the horseshoe plate that came with the lowering kit, and all it simply does is take this axle, right? This axle, which is about around medium there, normally would be mounted here, which would raise up the bus. So when you put this horseshoe plate on, it takes the center of that axle and moves it up about 2 inches, 3 inches. And that's all it is. It's just bolted on here. You're supposed to check these bolts every so often to make sure they don't loosen up. But they're pretty good. They have the fiber lock bolts on there, or nuts on there. So I haven't had any problems with any of the hardware backing up on any of my lowering kit. So anyway, those are the horseshoe plates. Okay, so I'm under the bus right now. This is that relay that the previous owner installed, and I've never really ever looked at it. So I need to look at it real close. I can already see a couple of things wrong with it, but we try to figure out the best way to tackle this, and it might just be to pull it down. I think I'll take this boot off so that I got access, better access, so at least looking at the front of it. So I'll do that. I'll put you guys away for a second. Alright, so let's see. This thing is not helping. Okay. Alright, so there is the relay. Now, as you can see, a couple things wrong here. The problems that I have with it, at least. These wires, they look to be in pretty good shape, but this one here has a splice in it, like an inch or two away from the terminal line, which is dumb, so I'll replace that wire. And they got these crap terminal ends on them. These kind of cheesy plastic ends. I know that's what you get at home or AutoZone or whatever, but you know, I just don't like them. So I'll probably change that out. The other problem is this cable here. This is the cable for my heater. And it's just it's laying right on top of this damn thing. And I can see that becoming a problem. So, I don't know. I've seen people take these and put them other places. I'm wondering if that might not be a good idea for me because the water gets to them, they get damaged. I've seen people put them in the engine bay. So maybe we'll go with that. The other thing is, this is like the old school style relay or solenoid. And the new style hard start thing is a lot smaller than that, a lot neater, and it's only like 12 or 13 bucks from like Bus Depot. So maybe I'll order that and change this whole thing out because yeah, we got to get the meter under here and check it all out. But maybe if we put the new one on, she wouldn't act up as much. So first order of business is going to be to check these wires, I suppose, and chase them back to the starter. The starter, let's see if I can get you guys to see the starter. You can see it right there. Oh, I'm a little squirrely. That's the starter. So all this relay is supposed to do is prevent, normally when you start your bus, if it doesn't have any of this stuff installed, you get a lot of voltage drop because the wiring has to go all the way up to the ignition key and all the way back to the starter. So what this does is basically eliminate all that wiring, and it gives it a shorter path to the starter so that you don't get as much voltage drop while you're trying to start the car. And these relays, some people have been, I was reading online about them yesterday, a couple guys were a little critical of them. But if you read the Bible, the Muir book on how to keep your Volkswagen alive, this is one of the things he says everybody should have in their bus, is one of these hard start relays. So I am going to leave it in there. This step, what we're going to do after we check this thing out and make sure these wires are okay, and maybe even replace some of these wires, we're going to check the grounds between the transmission and the frame. And then I also have an extra ground that I happen to acquire over all these years. Got a ground strap. Let's see if I can grab it. Just show it to you guys. That I happen to acquire over all these years, and so I might install that, but to somehow give that starter a better ground. I don't know, something I'm toying with. So stand by. I'm moving on to the ground strap because that relay thing, I think what I'm gonna do, it all looks fine. The wires are okay. They're not corroded or anything. There was one weird thing. I just cleaned it up, put it back. I think I'm just going to order the new one from Bus Depot, and we'll go from there because, yeah, I don't like that damn mess. Anyway, onto the ground strap. This, I believe, from what I've been told, is the ground strap off the back of the transmission for the starter. Goes around and connects to, stand by, connects to that nut right there. So what I'm going to do, and what I have been doing, is I just clean it off a little bit, is I'm going to take this off, clean up the metal underneath it, as well as on the other side of it. So I'll take that off, clean up underneath it, scrape it up real good, and I'll take this off and do the same thing. Yeah, I mean, this is not the greatest ground strap. I was thinking of adding a ground strap to the mounting bolt of the starter and try to get that to ground, but when it says that out loud, I can't really figure out a good spot to put it. So let's take this off, and then we'll figure out what to do next. I'd have to get a bigger drive. Let me see if I can just pop this off. I don't know how loose it's going to be after 50. Well, there you go. Oh. So I'm just going to clean that post up, and then I'll just scrape this up because that doesn't look too good either. Oops. And we'll just have to reinstall that and see where we go from there. And then I'll do the same on the other side of the strap. The strap doesn't look super great. Maybe I'll get a new one. Okay, well guys, this video is getting long. It's already over 20 minutes, so I'm gonna stop it now, and then we'll pick up again. I'll make another one right away, part 2 of the hard start issues. So I'll show you guys what I found and what I had to replace, and then we'll give her a whirl, see if it works out for me. All right, thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing and all the comments. I really appreciate them all, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Later.